You are now live.
Live, thank you. Welcome everyone to our afternoon chat, our FBS chat. Today we've got the lovely Mia from what looks like a really sunny day in Denmark. So thank you for joining us, Mia, for this chat. Really looking forward to it because I know we kind of work with similar kind of clients, so it'll be really interesting to see what's happening in Denmark, really. So before we go there, give us an idea of how you came across this solution-focused approach and what drew you to it.
Well, I think it's not really a straight path. I think that I've been one of the lucky ones that have met a few people along my kind of professional career path who have been working solution focused without them really knowing. So they've been passing on ways of meeting other people and clients to me as I was learning. And then in 2014, I got back in touch with Mia Hjorth Lunde, who's got Move One, and she was my supervisor back in '97 when I was doing my degree. And we clicked instantly, and we met up again, and we had to work together again, which was absolutely brilliant. And at that stage, we had found SFBT, and it just made so much sense for me to finally get a method or a theory to what I was doing anyway. I wasn't obviously using the specific questions, but the mindset of how you view people's resources were quite close to my heart anyway. So in that way, it was like having an epiphany going, oh. Here's actually a way of doing this all the way and not just adapting ways of being with clients, but becoming very structured about it. And I did a year course in Denmark in 2014, and then had my first summer school in I think 2015, and that was me. That's been an amazing journey since then. Yeah.
Ooh.
I met you guys.
I was going to say, that's when we met.
I think, it was 15,
2015,
Yeah.
What a year that was.
So that was my first encounter with all the brief boys and or men, and that there was a whole world out there of practitioners and a lot of you guys in the UK doing it already compared to Denmark, where it's still quite a few people. It's not a big thing here yet. So it's opened up a lot of doors and contacts around the world, which has been absolutely brilliant and inspiring.
Have you found that it's becoming more of more utilized in Denmark? Because we're pretty much in the same. I think in the UK it's probably bigger, but have you noticed that it's becoming more widely used or accepted?
Yeah, particularly in the social work department, the whole kinds of safety movement is here now, which is absolutely brilliant. And it's remarkable the difference we notice in social workers who have been trained to do such kind of safety work and those who haven't. I've started now, that's in my private life, but friends who are lawyers or whatever who do mediation, they get interested because they get a lot of similar theory, but from other people. So I think there's an awareness of that we have to meet people in a different way. Society is changing, politics are changing, which invites folks like us to get a bigger voice, I think. So it's coming slowly. It is definitely coming slowly. And there's more and more people becoming trained. I mean, we've had our first employee that we when was that? In May, I think she started working with us. That was the first colleague we got into the company who had the same course as I did in her background. So there's more and more people being trained now. So best hope is that they will start coming to those of us in Denmark who provide solution-focused services, and we can build on that and create even more and more of them. So, yeah.
Sounds exciting. Sounds like
it is. And a great honor to be part of the people who are in the forefront and first movers on things here. It's really interesting and really hard work.
Yeah.
As you will know.
In terms of how you utilize it in your work, I was saying earlier that we work with families too, and I know you do, but with quite high risk cases, so where children may be on the edge of the care system.
Yeah.
So how are you utilizing it in your work, and what are the benefits of it?
Well, the benefits are obviously that the clients, they get more of a voice, and they become active in the change that the social work department is demanding them to create. But they become active and they take ownership of it, which is absolutely beautiful to see. And I think that's what motivates me and keeps me going, is that when that process happens, the way we do it is more or less the same as having a coaching session. So even though I might turn up in the same family 2 times a day, I will go through what are your best hopes from this session today for the next 2 hours that we have together. What's better? I will start up with what's better, and then we use the best hopes question as well to kind of focus the time we have together and create, awareness in the parents. And we use exactly the same questions as you would in a session. And if there's, depending on the kind of focus points that the social work department needs to have addressed, we do that. But invite them to be partner, enter a partnership with us and talk about. So this is what the social worker wants you to change. Where do we start? Is there anything in particular you want me to pay specific attention to today, or notice about you, and so on. So it's really not that far from a kind of standard solution-focused conversation.
So what are the types of cases that you get referred, Mia, from social services?
It depends a lot. There seems to be, I don't know if you experience this as well, but there's a tendency that suddenly there's a lot of specific kinds of cases, and then 3 months later they change to
patterns.
There's patterns. Yeah. But it ranges from kind of box standard parents' advice, so, counseling, to emergency cases where there's accusations of violence against the child and we need to turn up in 2 hours and create safety until the social work department has found a solution. We've got a case we've actually had for 7 or 8 years now, I think, in Move On, and I've been lucky to be there for 6 years. Where it started off with being a mom with paranoid schizophrenia and isolated with her kids, and dad had no part in that. She locked them in a room, and we've been lucky enough to get that case, and we've been able to follow them. So the dad has now got the full parental care for the kids. The kids are at home. We've managed to avoid them getting into care. So it ranges from emergency to long-term work, developmental work. Quite a lot of we do have quite a lot of families with foreign backgrounds, where I think our primary role is to do kind of cultural translation, because they don't know the Danish system. There's different ways of bringing up different expectations to parents in different countries, and that's absolutely some of my favorite jobs or clients, because you get to get a really good in-depth view and understanding of other cultures and how they think about things, and bring those resources forwards to the social work department and help change the mindset in the state, in the government, or the officials, instead of them just judging them from what's expected from the Danish system, So, huge variety of things. But main thing is to try and avoid putting kids into care, really, and help families build a safe enough home life for the child and use the network. Yeah. So.
I mean, I guess it must be really difficult when you've got families that may have clearly different best hopes than what the social worker may have.
Yeah.
So it's kind
what are you talking about, Joe? That never happened.
No, well, you know what I mean. There is, or where they want things to happen immediately, or not realizing that there's small steps to this improvement.
Yeah.
So how do you tackle that? I guess you've got a good working relationship with social care, otherwise they wouldn't keep referring clients to you. So
I think in those departments that know us well, they know that the process is there's not always an immediate change in the way that they want. We believe there's an immediate change from the minute the process even starts. The biggest challenge is really the social workers who are not familiar with the solution-focused mindset.
Yeah.
And we've come to the stage where we have to say if they don't think we do it well enough, then that's okay. Then somebody else can take over the case. That's their choice. We don't compromise. We won't adapt our practice to fit into them, but we stick to the solution-focused brief therapy way of working. But a lot of talking and a lot of highlighting resources, but also not being afraid of expressing, because we don't go in and of course we look for resources, but we also identify things that needs to happen. And I think that's really where we often end up getting a good working relationship with the social work department anyway, because we're not afraid to say things in the open to the client. So if there's something that's not okay, we challenge it and we express it immediately. So we're not faced by what the social worker would call aggression or anger, or they don't want to work with us. We don't believe in those words. That's the reason why people do what they do. They have to protect themselves. They're up against a big system and they're threatened. The most valuable thing in their life, their child, is about to, it's big worries, and of course that makes everyone afraid. So I think once they see us in practice, especially with what they would classify as the difficult clients, once they see us interact with them, they often give us more leeway and give us more time to show what difference it can make to meet people with this mindset. But if they don't, we have had social workers saying, we need a new report because this is too positive. And it's like, well, to do this, solve this case for you. So does that make sense?
Well, it's a lovely position to be in, to say that I'm not going to compromise on the way I work.
I've been there before, and and you guys probably know this, have noticed this as well about yourselves, that it's such a relief to not have to juggle all these different methods you read in a book or you've met other people doing, but just sticking to this one way of working. It makes it so much more simple and so much better. I mean, the quality of my work is so much better now than it was before, which is great. And I would never survive 6 years doing work in with these kind of clients had I still been juggling different methods like I did before. I would have, gone down with stress, I think.
How is working in the way that you do? Because obviously, like you said, a lot of these families will have some quite horrific stories, and there's a thing called burnout in the UK where social workers tend to burn out. So how does working in this way easier for you as a practitioner?
Because it's not my responsibility. I think bottom line is that I have learned it's been a process because you have to relearn everything that you. I spent 10 years of my professional life learning and doing. But at the end of the day, I'm not the one who's responsible for the family to create the changes. I'm responsible to ask the questions that allows them to make choices that they think are best for them. And by the end of the day, if they choose differently or if they choose not to create the change that is asked by the social worker who employs me, then that's what I can feed back to the social work department, and they do the decision on what needs to happen. So it's not my responsibility at the end of the day, but it's my responsibility to help the parents make qualified decisions on behalf of their child and their family. Is that?
Yeah. No, that's right. I get what
and
you're
that
saying.
makes a huge difference. Makes a huge difference. Inviting them into working together instead of me, but bloody using all my time with them, trying to find out how can I make a solution for you that will work, and what if it doesn't work, blah blah blah, and then you burn out.
It's your solution, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's your solution for them rather than their own solution.
And that's bloody hard work.
Yeah, and the beauty of this way of working is because they have to find their own solutions each time. Because we already believe that they have the solution somewhere, we just need to draw it out. Then they won't need, hopefully, services again to give them the answers to every problem that arises.
Exactly.
So it kind of saves time and money in the long run.
It does. But it's just so opposite the way that the system in Denmark, anyway, is built up, and the view on clients is the complete opposite. Although I don't think anyone does that with an intention to talk negatively or talk down to or whatever to the clients. I think everyone in the social care work wants to do their best and help people, but we often don't, and we don't help ourselves. I'm
going to ask you a question.
Oh.
Go ahead, Ash.
So we've met Pia a few times. This is gossip. So Pia, I know is listening, but we're going to pretend that no one's listening. What is it you appreciate about Pia? Because I know that you two work together.
Oh my
and I know you love her.
You'll get me crying
about her. Because I mean, I've only met her a couple of times, and I really appreciate her. I've learned so much from both of you, but Pia is just a wonderful person. So go on, give us the goss. Your appreciation goss.
Well, I think I've met two ladies in my professional career where I've just thought those two, they will never burn out. I've just, they're called fairy souls. What do you call? Is that the word? Like they're just passionate. I mean, passionate in a way that's out of the extraordinary. They can't help themselves doing this kind of work with people. And Pia's one of them. The other one is Dot from the Edinburgh City Youth Cafe, Dot Horn. She's an incredible woman too. But the thing about Pia is that, and I have to go back to 97, really, when I met Pia. I was 20, I think, 21, 20, just a little young person. And she scared the beep out of me because she was confrontative, she was honest, and she was demanding things from me that I didn't learn at university, and she was questioning me going, what's your good reason to do that? In what way is that help for this young person that you are cooking his food when he needs to go and live by himself? So he needs to learn. So stop yourself and help him cook. Little things like that. I was like, oh my God, who's this woman? But she was so spot on, and we created a beautiful friendship back then. And I think she just doesn't stop. And I think that and she doesn't stop. she's got an opinion, but an opinion doesn't mean that what she says is the only way forward. She loves going into really interesting long discussions about things. She's respectful. She's very caring. And I really appreciate that in people that she's a bit like Chris Iverson. I reckon Pia will be scary like Chris Iverson when she gets older. They love provoking, but they're also into many other ways of doing things than what they express. But they just want to see, where are you, And with Pia, what you see is what you get, and I just love that, We've had some really good discussions, and we love each other to bits. Yeah.
It's funny because you're describing Pia, but actually you're describing yourself as well.
No.
Maybe not the scary bit, but you're very passionate and you're very hardworking and you're a good mentor. So actually, and I'm sure Pia would agree with that. And if she doesn't, she'll probably write it down now and say no. Erase.
I mean, I would say she paved the first path of my career, doing work with young people or families. And when she presented, because when we got back in contact after I was in Scotland and decided to go off Facebook, whatever, blah blah blah, lost contact. But when we got back in contact, it was just instant. We need to be together again. And there she was. She was like, "Yeah, let's do it." She's got a popcorn brain, If you present something that she thinks sounds really interesting, it goes boop, 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 and she's just filled with ideas. And I think that's a big difference between her and me, is that she gets the ideas, and I love hearing them, and then I get fed by that, and then I start creating them with her. She's definitely a person that takes the first step, which can be hard work to be with, because she questions everything you say and go, well, not questions in a negative way, but solution focused, going, what's your good reason to do this? Or how come you thought about that? Or, so you're not left alone ever, which is absolutely brilliant and inspiring,
So makes you a great team.
Yeah, we're good together. We have a great team. I have to say, she's been very dedicated. I'm impressed by her dedication and fighting, her will, because when I started in Move One, we were 3 people, and then just the 2 of us and a couple of session workers for a while. And we've now got a company of 14 people, I think 15 people.
Wow.
And we've had to, excuse my language, kiss a lot of frogs, because there's quite a lot of popularity around the kind of work we do. People go, oh, that's really cool and whatever. It's really difficult to do. And particularly because you also have to do it entirely solution focused with us. We've had to say goodbye to a lot of people and hope for the best for them and wish them the best. But she's just kept going. She believes. She's a believer. That's just it's really nice and inspiring.
And the families that you work with, Mia, I guess a lot like our families, they have many different services in and out. It almost becomes like a conveyor belt of, well, let's try this because this has not worked, and let's try this and let's try that, and they become fatigued.
Yeah.
So what do you think they see in your organisation that makes them want to work with you?
Good question, Joe.
That's a very good question. Yeah.
I'm going to write this down.
Good. I should too. Email it to me. It's a good one. Because you're absolutely right. And I would say a lot of our clients have been in the system their entire life. They might be 2nd or 3rd generation of families stuck in the system, really. I think some of the feedback that we get from clients afterwards is that we're very persistent. We don't not turn up. If they tell us not to turn up, we turn up anyway. We stick to the questions, although it annoys the hell out of them to begin with. I think, who are you with this wobbly nonsense? We stick to the questions, and once they start noticing the difference the questions make to their own mindset, they start engaging. We also work all hours, which a lot of our clients have, when they've had family support or counselling or family treatment, it's called here. I don't know what the name, what you would in the UK, but it's often between the hours of 8 and 4.
Yeah.
And that's where the children are in nursery or school. And best hope is that the parents are also at work, which means they have to take time off work to come and see the counsellor or the family support worker. Yeah. Whereas we come, I mean, I can be in a family at 10 in the evening if what I'm there for is to help and support and work with, say, putting the kids to bed. And we come at weekends, we come early mornings, we come when it makes sense. And I think that's the beauty of the work that we do, is that we've got that flexibility to do that, because it means that we can invite the client to plan the work together. So when would it make, so when we talk about, we always start a new family, talking to them about the best hope for the whole, say, the next 3 months until we have to go to the council for a meeting again. What are you hoping will be different, blah, blah, blah. So where do we start? When does it make sense that I come to visit you when we work around this? So I invite them to do that instead of me telling them, well, I'm coming at 2:00 on Wednesday, so you better just be there. Or I call the social worker and tell them that you don't want to cooperate.
Yeah. So it's taking down those barriers, isn't it? It's just taking down those barriers and allow them to access your support in a way that is useful to them, because it's not, you know, asking your employer for 2 hours off a week to attend a meeting is it's just not going to happen.
I have to say, the families where we only come 2 hours a week are few. It's often a minimum of 6 hours a week, and you can't have a job and keep a family going with a job and that at the same time. You can't if we come in daytime, you know. So, and it makes so much sense to be flexible in that way. I mean, if I was to have someone like myself coming to me and help me at home, I would love them to come, you know, at different times, because why do you want to sit there and just look at me? You know, can you just be efficient? I would want that. I would want that from someone coming to my house. So, okay, I would definitely be much more cooperative in the process if it was like that. Yeah, absolutely.
So initially you're with the families quite intense. Does your time of the families taper off as they start to make progress?
Yeah, it does. I think we have, in Move One, we've got a structure that every 6 to 8 8th week, we do a report to the social worker. And sometimes they ask us to not do that because it's too much work for them, but we persist. It's your client, it's not our client, you know. So we do that. And if we, you know, we're constantly aware of the fact, do we need to turn up or need to turn down? Because we don't want to, it's a huge impact on their lives that they've got people like us sitting in their homes. You know, we can start, some families, we start off being there 8 hours a day. And it's not okay to continue doing that. Once you start seeing safety measures might be in place in certain times, or the child is back in nursery, then the nursery staff takes over some of that support as well. Then we don't need to be there that much, you know. So we're very proud, I have to say, that we're proud to have focus on turning the time down as soon as possible. Because if we don't, we've had experience of social workers not accepting that, and it just causes a lot of disruption in the partnership with the family, really, to be honest. And that's a shame. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Mia, we have a question for you from Gil. We can't say Gil without going, sorry, Gil, we always embarrass you. How are your services funded? Who pays for your service?
We're completely private company.
So social care buy into your service?
What's that, sorry?
So social services buy into your service?
Yes, they do.
There you go, Gil. And what about the training that you guys are offering? What kind of training do you provide?
Oh, we do loads. We've got, it's called Forandringsakademiet, which is a separate part to Move One. Like Move One is an umbrella, and so we do training for social service staff, and there we do coaching, we do conversations with children, solution-focused conversations with children. We've got a year-long course in how to do flex family support, which is the kind of the concept that we do family work with. And then we've also got kind of the management bit. We've translated Lead as a Host to Danish, and we do training in that. We do how to do what's the term for, you've got these annual talks with your boss where you go and you do
like a annual review or supervision.
Supervision.
Yeah, how to do annual reviews or supervision, solution focused as well. So we do.
Right.
There's two umbrellas underneath the Forandringsakademiet as well, which is social service training in various subjects, but also management and setting up a business, solution focused and stuff like that. So we did it turned out to be quite a huge range. And it's Jenny, my colleague Jenny, who's the manager over in that part. And I participate in the training in the social care subjects. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Who can access this training, Mia?
Anyone can, really.
Is it online or is it just for Denmark?
At the moment, it's just for Denmark. We would love to do anywhere else. I don't think there's any courses in solution-focused family work yet. So if people want to buy in, we can do it in English, not a problem. At the moment, we do it in Danish. Yeah, and we do it face-to-face. But there's the whole Corona, COVID-19 period has taught us a lot, as you guys will know as well, about doing online training and doing online work, really, also with clients. So
yeah,
there's nothing holding us back from doing both. So yeah.
What so for solution focused practitioners who maybe work with individuals, what are the tricky parts of working with a whole family using this approach?
Hold on.
I couldn't do that.
I will turn it into a solution focused question.
Yeah.
And how do you overcome them?
Yeah.
Very good. You can ask Joe the same question afterwards. He's got an answer. I can see that. How do we do that? Well, it's a combination of many things, I think. So say like it's a family where there's kids and adults. We will have conversations with the parents alone. Because there's things, we believe that a parent is the child's superhero, which means we should not be discussing adult things in front of the child. So we have meetings with the parent, or we call them family meetings, which is not really like a traditional family meeting, but that's where we do development work with the parents only. We've got child conversations with the child, which can be where the parent is there, but it can also be in the school, depending on the need from the child. They might need a space where they can talk without the parent close by. Sometimes we've also got good experience in working with the child in front of the parent, because the parents can shadow things that we do or questions we ask the child, or they will suddenly hear new things coming out of views of the child that they've never thought the child would have or thought or whatever. And then we also do hold traditional family meetings where everyone's around the table, and then we facilitate that. And before, often if it's kind of families where there's a lot of conflict, we would often speak to them individually first and ask, what's your best hope from this? And what would you hope? What are your hopes? Is there anything particular that you would like to say or do that would create this environment that would be best for you? And we've never, I can't think of a family who've not wanted to find each other again and create peace.
Yeah.
I cannot recollect ever meeting a family who didn't want that. So, and that's our starting point. So, and maybe we just need to gather them for 10 minutes and that's it. Then we finish. That's fine. So we examine all these things with them individually first, so we can talk openly about it and make sure we have a good meeting.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
You know, because it's pretty much like you say. I mean, we always have. There's always two practitioners with our families, and like you say, we often meet with the parents first to get out. You know, maybe to offload, because it's not something you want the child to hear necessarily, and it's not going to be very conducive to that working relationship. But it's strange. Wherever we meet practitioners over the world working with families, it's pretty much the same kind of things going on. And what we find when we do separate them is often their best hopes are around what you're saying about better communication, less arguing, less stress. So they do often, like you say, have that common goal. And then bringing them together. It's brilliant that parents hear for the first time something that their child's maybe never heard before.
I think
go on. No, I was just going to say it's such a privilege to work with families because you see all the dynamics going on, and it's. But at the end of the day, they want that love and security, and just to get along better. It's not rocket science in a sense. It's just getting there in those small kind of ways. But yeah, we've learned so much from our families.
Yeah, it's incredible, and I think it's not often that we're able to get to that stage to begin with, that we can structure the conversations like that. And until then, it's just because I was just remembering that it's not all the time that we shelter the kids from adult talk. Sometimes we deliberately address inappropriate behavior in the parent in front of the child. So it's constantly a balance of going, will I say this loud? I would never tell a parent off, but will I say, it's not okay what you're doing right now, you need to do something else, what can you do? Sometimes I do that in front of the children as well, because some of the kids, not all of them, but some of them have been brought up with dysfunctional patterns of communication in families or behavior. And I am the only representative of normality in that household. Does that make sense? So often, because the child will meet normality, whatever normality is, in school or in after school club, but once they come back home, they enter the culture that's within the family. And in some families, my responsibility is to help the child understand that what mom is doing right now is not okay. And it doesn't stand alone. I will talk to the child about this as well when we have our conversations without the parent. I will talk to the mom as well. So it's a constant kind of, I might be in a family for 3 hours in a row. So I'm part of their day-to-day life. And in that, I have to juggle safety, but also development, but also allowing them to do their daily life without me stopping them from showing what they can do. Oh God, it's getting old.
No, you're absolutely right. And it's role modeling positive behavior and communication, isn't it? Because you're in the family home. You can role model that. And I mean, I remember a time Joe got on the floor and was playing a game with an 11-year-old child, and you can see the father, who's never done that, just slowly edge towards, sitting with them, and he's never done that before. So sometimes you don't need to even say it. It's just role modeling.
Exactly. on constantly going in and out. We've got this amazing model that we've developed, inspired by a lot of clever people in this field, of this going. So our job is constantly to do solution-focused work, but we also sometimes we have like a straightforward, pure solution-focused conversation, therapy session with this parent. Sometimes we do guidance and we give advice, or we refer them to like the mental health nurse or whatever. Sometimes we guide them and we do the role modeling, and other times we also tell them this is not okay. Yeah. So kind of we constantly go in and out of these things as long as we go back to our core that we need to do that solution focus. So once I tell Joe, you need to stop. It's not okay that you're shouting. So how can I help you? What would be useful for you to happen right now so that you stop shouting? What would be useful for your child? So I always remember to go back and invite you into changing that situation that we're in at this very moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And sometimes you have to do that because there's a safety issue as well.
Yeah.
To stop things escalating to a point, where maybe police are called or the child is removed, because you're working with families who are on the edge of that system, or they're in the system and on the edge of family breakup.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're having to juggle that, where you're being more directive in some cases, but then always bringing it back to the solution-focused way of moving forward.
I think the whole Mark McCurgo and Helen Bailey's book, Leaders of Hope, is one of our main books that we work with, constantly being aware of the positions and the roles that you decide to take in the here and now with the family, or in a meeting with a social worker, anywhere really. But it's very useful to remind yourself, if I sit back and sit in the sofa and accept what's happening in front of me, what am I telling the child? Shall I say something? Shall I not? Shall I address it later on with the parents? Is that really okay? Or should I take them outside for a walk and say, listen, this needs to change? Constantly evaluating, what am I doing right now? And what effect will that have on the development of this family?
Yeah, and it's evaluating how useful your questions are and your actions are at that time.
Yeah.
Which is a bit that we need to be careful with. Absolutely.
Because everything we do will have an impact on the next step in this family's life.
Yeah.
And how am I to write a report which has a lot of power and a lot of weight? The report I write about the family and give that to the social worker, it's got so much power, really. Although they are the decision makers, they take what I write very seriously. So how am I to make judgments, which I have to do sometimes, on a family if I don't think of the impact I have on the process with everything I do in the contact? I think it's very, and that's the difficult bit.
Right, Raya Gul, our lovely Raya Gul, agrees with you.
Yes.
I think that was a question I said I used with my children, and I could just imagine being one of Raya's daughters right now.
What question was that? Sorry, Raya. Tell us your question.
Yeah, Raya, write down exactly which question you were referring to. And I know, Mark, you had a question, but I just wanted to clarify something. So if you could just rewrite that question for me, I'll ask Mia. But
The Power of Next has become a book that we use in our course. We do family support work course. It's absolutely the easiest and best book we've had so far to get non-SFBT people to understand the basics of SFBT.
Is that Raya's book?
Yeah, it's absolutely great.
She'll be loving that.
Yes. We're translating right now.
I absolutely, that is my favorite. I've read a lot of solution focused books, and I love all the authors.
Yeah.
But that one I managed to read in one night, and it was brilliant. But our lovely author has just got back to us, and she said, "Oh, what did she say?" She said, "What's the book?" No, it's not that one. What do we do right now to move towards something better? Thanks for clarifying that. We love you, fan club, and I know she hates that, so I do it more.
I used to with my kids this morning where they went into a fight. Shout at them or be constructive and calm.
So how do your kids find this approach? Let's have this conversation. Come on.
Yeah, let's do that. Because there's quite a few of us these days with kids who are brought up like this. And I have to say, Pia's daughter, Jenny, who's the other manager at Move On, well, she's an adult child of a solution-focused practitioner, which is very interesting. Ask her as well. My son loves it because he's got a very well high developed emotional language. So I use the 3 columns with him, and he asks me to do that sometimes when there's something too much in his mind. My daughter will go, I don't know. I don't know. So she gives me a lot of daily practice, which is great. But at the end of the day, they do, I think, because they're coming up to 10 and a bit more, both of them, I noticed that the way that they start thinking about the next step in a process is different than if I had not used solution-focused mindset with them and in our home. They do want to find a common, better way of doing things together, which I'm not sure they would have had the same kind of level of thoughtfulness for the person in front of them. Although, although my daughter might be caught up in anger and wanting to kill her big brother, she does seem to access, I know that I want something else. I'm just caught up with emotions right now, but I really want this here. So if you give me 5 minutes, I will be able to talk. And I think that's definitely come from me talking like this. And my husband Jens has adapted the process as well. You can't be married to an SFBT person, not a practitioner, but even a person. It becomes a mindset, not a method, without adapting the language yourself for a little bit, I think. So
yeah,
it's a way of life.
It's a way of life, yes.
I think someone's asking what's the name of the book, Clash. Is that what?
Don't worry, we've covered it.
The Power of Next Small Step. I think. Hang on a second.
You got a picture of it.
I've got the Amazon link up for people as well.
Oh, brilliant! Oh, it's here.
And I accidentally actually sent it to me. There we go.
Yeah,
read it. It's brilliant. There's a lot of good books out there, I have to say. But if you want to understand the basics and the mindset of SFBT, I think that's definitely a book to go to, because it's not theory. It's just how do I practice this.
Laura is asking, what is the columns exercise? Can you elaborate on that, please? The 3
columns. Yeah. It's shall I draw? Okay.
I need to draw it out.
It's based on it's inspired from the Signs of Safety. So what worries, what works already that is useful to the worries. So what's worrying you, or what's worrying the social work department? What resources or things are you already doing in the family that helps kind of lower or not increase, at least, the worries around a specific topic, and what needs to happen to lower worries even more, or to what needs to happen for you to move even further towards your desired outcome or whatever. So worries, what works, what needs to happen, kind of more or less.
I think it's quite powerful to have it in sort of written down, because we have fantastic conversations, but sometimes it's nice to have that physical reminder of this is what we're working towards, and this is what I've noticed, and for people to take it away and add to it, because they may they may forget during the session to say something that's actually that's quite as well.
I often, unless if I'm visiting a family where it's primarily observations of how they interact and stuff, I don't write on paper. I would never sit and write notes when I'm in a family either. Never, ever. I think that's to me, that's not showing respect. It's my job to remember the results of the day. But you can get giant Post-it notes, which is absolutely brilliant, big white ones, and we use that in most of our conversations with the parents. And so we use their words and write them down, so it's like a common third, and that has such a good impact because something happens when they see the words they say out loud written, because once it will focus them and me more around the subject, and we don't go off in different tangents. But they will often also either stick to that and it becomes more of a importance to them, or they will go, no, I'm actually not there anymore, I'm here. Or drawing scales, even with adult, works brilliantly. It's such a great tool. And once you get over your own handwriting and whatever,
she knows me too well.
Then it's fine. And then we leave the paper with them. It's not mine, it's theirs. So I'll take a photo so I can remember for my notes, but I leave that with them, and they can throw it out if they don't want it. We've got families where they've got the wall plastered with it in the bedroom so the kids don't see it. So the kids can stay believing their parents are superheroes, But it's brilliant. I can highly recommend that to everyone.
Yeah.
Try it out.
So what are the next steps?
Next steps? What do you mean?
Well, we've read Ryan's book. So what are the next steps at Move One or for you? What are your best hopes?
I think my best hope is that this course in family support, solution-focused family support work, will grow, because I think definitely there's a place in the market for it, and I'm not saying that other ways of doing family work is wrong, but I think there's a place for this as well. And I love teaching. I get reminded and I get honored by the role that I actually have. I get almost emotional that what we do has got such a huge impact on people. So I love teaching. I hope this course will kick off and we get loads more of them. And then I think the very next post step is that Pia has just introduced a new way of doing self-led team at work. So the way of us managing ourselves and managing the work, the jobs that we've got, the different assignments, is completely different. So we're becoming more and more self-sustainable in the little teams, which is really interesting and great because it's very solution focused and lead as a host way of doing things. So that's the next step, trying that out and seeing how can I be part of that, and how can I be part of developing that bit as well as a person who's caught up and being right in the center of that as a member of staff, which is really interesting.
You guys are amazing, and there's some more people that think you guys are amazing as a team. And for you, Martin, it will grow. Move One are such a great team.
Thank you.
And can you guess who the next comment is from?
What's that, sorry?
Can you guess who the next comment is from?
Pia.
Pout?
I love it.
Oh, it's so inspiring to hear. I can hear her saying this. Always so inspiring to hear you talk about your work at Move One. Lucky families to have you guys rooting for them.
Oh, thank you, Parrot, and thank you, Matt. Thank you, everyone. Really, Pout and Marieke and Rob, all good friends from Holland, are doing very, very similar work to us, and they've had such a huge impact on mine, but also Pia and the others from Move On, our understanding of the work that we do, because we've not had anyone else in Denmark that we could share ideas and thoughts and experiences with, because it's such a niche at the moment, little niche at the moment. So they've had a huge impact on us, and Dear Martin has been, we've created a little tradition every year at summer school that we meet before we go to class or go to meet up with all you guys, and we talk about what are we taking away from yesterday that was a particular use for us, or that's caused us to wonder about things, and what are our best hopes from the day ahead of us. And so we have breakfast every morning with Dear Martin Born and Thomas Hirschman.
Oh, Thomas!
Yes, Thomas, we need to get him on here as well.
I know. Yes, there are. That's the thing. There are so many people we still have to get on here, because everyone is inspiring in their own way.
Exactly.
Everyone is fantastic in their own way, and actually, it's FBS Chat is about sharing what SF is about, but also the similarities and how versatile it is.
Yeah. Harriet Cordiff as well. Do you remember her? She's been at summer school a few times as well. She's just created a big program within the NHS around how to supervise staff, solution focused. I think it's so inspiring. Yeah.
Oh, Martin. How can we do that again? How can we
do that online in 2 weeks if you've all signed up for the online summer school thing.
I might be away. We'll have to see. It might be a lastminute.com kind of decision.
Plan.
But
my 5th anniversary, so I'm going to stick to it, and I love it so much.
Well, I actually want us to talk a little bit about when we first met. Actually,
yeah.
And it was when Harry Coleman was at Bruce Summer School.
Yes.
And 2 pregnant ladies in a wheelchair.
Not me. That was Jenny and you.
That was Jenny and me.
Yeah. It was very warm.
It was very warm. Lots of role plays.
Yes.
And I was luckily a lucky girl, because we were paired up a few times, weren't we? And there was a particular parent I was pretending to be.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember that. I have to mind my language, Aish.
No, yeah. And well, so for some of you, what I did was I said, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how realistic do you want me to be? And the 2 guys that were with us said, yeah, be as realistic as you want. I thought, well, I think Mia can take it, but I don't know if they can. And they really tried, bless them. But a lot of giggles.
A lot of giggles. And I recognized the character that you were playing. It was wonderful.
It was brilliant. But I didn't realize actually that at the time you were still quite new to SF.
Yeah, I
didn't realize that, because I've only just found that out now, because I was under the impression when we first met that you had been in the SF world using SF language for quite a few years, because you were. I learned so much from you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, honestly.
No, I was a year in. I had just finished the course, though, I have to say. So, in that way, I had
been up with you, and I thought, oh God, what if I'm rubbish? And she's really.
Oh, thank you. I'm humbled. To be honest. I'm really honored. Thank you.
Oh, it was a wonderful year with fantastic. Oh, it was always fantastic people, but especially for Joe and I, you the team, the Move On team, especially stood out.
And you guys as well. I mean, the service that we've got needs to be everywhere. How can we get you to Denmark? Because I think we talked about this before when you had that evening in July. Was it July? You had the conference?
The Child to Parent Abuse conference. Yeah.
I would say it's a guess, but most families that I've got, that's an issue. And society is going in a way, at least here in Denmark, probably also in the UK, where a lot of kids are not met with, there's no boundaries, and they have to manage a lot of stuff themselves. And That's causing a lot of change and a lot of difficulties in families. And I think our generation, it's called curling parents in Denmark. We're all adults being brought up as children where our parents have carried us around as well. So
Yeah.
So we're finding it difficult passing on boundaries and respect, I think, in the same way as they did before. And I think we're seeing a problem with that now in many families. And it's very interesting development we're going through. So we need more of you guys around.
I think the world just needs all of us.
Yeah.
More and Gil, bless him. Aisha and Joe, I learn a lot from every one of your conversations from different SF practitioners from around the world, including the one with Mia.
Thank you. I agree with you, Jill. It's a pleasure that you get a mix of so many different people in. It's very inspiring.
You are one of PL, your team are very, very important to us, and I know you're very important to a lot of people, SF practitioners and families out there. Don't ever underestimate the power that you have.
Oh, thank you.
Without even realizing, but a very respected and reputable company. And I urge everyone to kind of go onto the website and you may not be able to read it.
I think we might have a translation button.
Yeah, perfect. Click on the translation box and find out what they do because they're absolutely brilliant. And contact them for training.
Yeah, cool.
Please do contact them for training. And I'll read the last comment, which is coming from Pout. I haven't read it yet, so hopefully it's not dirty Pout. FBS Move On and Rarkraft. Am I pronouncing it? Have a lot in common. We could form a North Sea congratulate or something and spread our practice. Pout, make it happen, Pout.
Make it happen, Pout.
The world would be unstoppable with Pout and Pia as leaders.
Yes.
And with Zoom, we've got no excuse not to do it.
That's very true, Joe.
So yes. So let's let them kind of talk and just tell us what to do. You know, what difference do you think it would make if you were to do this? I'll do it. I'm on it right away. Yeah, I mean, you are fantastic, and we thank you very, very much for joining us today. We told you the hour would go by pretty quick.
Oh, I thank you, and I'm so honoured for you to inviting me along. It's it's
been fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Your joy in what you do shines through. It really does.
Yes, passionate.
Right back at
you. From the heart.
Right back at you.
We're a strong dream team. That's what we are. I'm trying to say it. I'm so excited I can't even say it.
You haven't been drinking, have you, Ash?
No, for once, actually, Joe.
Okay.
I haven't. And people don't think I drink because I just said for once, but he knows what I mean, and even Mia knows what I'm talking about here. But everyone else, so we'll see you soon, and I will update our next FBS chat by tomorrow, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.